Afternoon, students. So in previous class, I would discuss about NEET bits from 2014 and 2015. Still, bits are there in 2015. So discuss in this class. So proceed one of the question in 2015. So in that one of the question, in a sea urchin. Sea urchin DNA. Sea urchin DNA, which is double stranded, which is double stranded 70% of the 17% of the bases were shown to be cytosine. The percentage of the percentage of the other three bases expected to be present in this DNA. Are. So if you see the options, A, guanine 17%, next adenine 16.5%, thymine 32.5%, next B, guanine 17%, adenine 33%, thymine 33%. Next, C, guanine 8.5%, adenine 50%, next thymine 24.5%. D, guanine 34%, next adenine 24.5%, next thymine 24.5%. So if you see the question, sea urchin is the organism. So in that organism DNA, if you observe, so it is a double stranded condition. So mentioned double stranded. In that double stranded DNA, 17% of bases are cytosine. The percentage of other three bases expected to be present in this. So according to the chart of adenine pairs with thymine, guanine pairs with cytosine. So how many number of cytosine pairs? The same number of guanine. So yes, cytosine given 17%. So same number of guanine. So in DNA, if you take 100%, so in that guanine and cytosine 34%. If you less than 34%, you can get 66%. In that 66% is adenine and thymine brand. 66% is adenine and thymine brand. So if you want adenine, 33. If you want thymine, 33. So answer is, if observe that answer, guanine 17%, adenine 33%, thymine 33%. So answer is B. Next, to see the next question. Satellite DNA. Satellite DNA is important because it given options like, so first option A, codes for engine, codes for engine, codes for engines needed for DNA replication. Next, B option, codes for protein, codes for protein needed in a cell cycle. Next, C option. So high degree of polymorphism. High degree of polymorphism. High degree of polymorphism in a population. And also same degree of polymorphism. Same degree of polymorphism in an individual which is inheritable, from parents to children, from parents to children. Then to see the D option, does not code for proteins, and is same in all members, all members of the population. So we have options like, so what is the first satellite DNA? So satellite DNA has two type of sequences, repeated sequences. So can be called mini satellites or macro satellites. So this DNA has a special type of sequence. Okay, so that sequence it comes repeated. You can call it is a repeated DNA. So what is the use of this repeated DNA? So it shows variation. If you take two peoples, so in one people another people variations occurs very less variations occurs from one person to another person. So variation just 0.1%. So you can find out the variation from one people to another people. So this 0.1% variation is helpful to identify the two individuals by using one technique. The technique name is called DNA fingerprinting. So in this technique, you can use the satellite DNA. So why we are using this satellite DNA? So the satellite DNA shows variations. So it shows high degree of polymorphism. It shows high degree of polymorphism in population, not only in population, in peoples also, individual in that individual ID. So they shows the small variations from one person to another person. So it is helpful for the satellite DNA helpful for to find out the individual in molecular levels. So that's why we use satellite DNA technique. So satellite DNA is so it shows high degree of polymorphism in DNA molecules. It shows very less variations from one person to another person. So that variations are helpful for to find the person in molecular level. So about satellite DNA. So answer is C. Next, if you see the next question. Next question, if you observe, which one of the following not applicable? Which one of the following? Which one of the following is not applicable to? Not applicable. It's not applicable to. Not applicable to R. So you see the options. A. Charge of wood. Charge of wood. Next. B. Complementary base pairing. Complementary base pairing. Complementary base pairing. Next. C. 5' phosphoryl and 3' hydroxyl ends. 3' hydroxyl ends. Next, D. Heterocyclic nitrogen bases. Heterocyclic nitrogen bases. The given options like which of the following is not applicable to RNA? So which one is here? In this four rules are there. In that four rules, so which one is not applicable to RNA? So first one is Chargaff rule. So Chargaff rule, it is applicable for only DNA, not for RNA. So what is the meaning of Chargaff rule? So according to Chargaff rule, in DNA, two strands are primed. So these two strands are joined together by hydrogen bonds. Here nitrogen bases, two type of nitrogen bases, so both are joined, okay, with help of hydrogen bonds. Here, so one pair if you observe, adenine always pair with the thymine, not uracil. Then guanine always pair with the cytosine. So in case of RNA, maybe double stranded, but it is not applicable to RNA. So according to Chargaff rule, adenine always pair with the thymine, guanine always pair with the cytosine. So Chargaff rule not applicable to RNA. So it is a correct for the statement. Then if you see that second statement, complementary base pair. Complementary base pair means adenine it pair with thymine or maybe pair with uracil. It is called complementary base pair. Then complementary base pairing is applicable to RNA. Then 5' phosphoryl and 3' hydroxyl ends. If you take either DNA or RNA, so you can find out polarity of RNA, either single stranded or double stranded RNA. It must also show the polarity One is 5' to 3' or 3' to 5'. So it is applicable both in DNA and RNA. Next, heterocyclic nitrogen bases. Heterocyclic nitrogen bases. Only two are there. One is adenine and one is guanine. Adenine and guanine are present both in RNA and also DNA. So for this question, so which one is not applicable? Charge of rule only not applicable. Remaining three are applicable to RNA and also DNA. So answer is A. So next question, if you observe. So 2016 question. One of the 2016 question. Which are the following? Which are the following? Which of the following is not required? Is not required. Not required for any of the technique. Any of the technique of DNA fingerprinting. Of DNA fingerprinting. DNA fingerprinting. Available at present. Available at present. You can see the options. Here, DNA hybridization. DNA hybridization. Next, second option, polymerase chain reaction. Polymerase chain reaction. Polymerase chain reaction. So structure we can call PCR, polymerase chain reaction. Next, third option, zinc finger analysis. Zinc finger analysis. Next, fourth option, restriction enzymes. Restriction enzymes. So which technique? In the four techniques, which technique is not required for the DNA fingerprinting? So if you see the first one, DNA hybridization. So we'll use a hybridization technique. DNA hybridization. We use a DNA probes. After separation of the DNA fragments with help of gel electrophoresis. So here in that on the gel electrophoresis plate or nylon membrane, single stranded DNA print. Single stranded DNAs. So this single stranded DNAs will pair with radioactive probe. Will pair with radioactive, suitable radioactive pair. So this process also known as hybridization. So we'll conduct the DNA hybridization in case of DNA fingerprinting. So this technique is there in DNA fingerprinting. Next, polymerase chain reaction. So what is the polymerase chain reaction? So this technique is useful to increase the DNA content number. So if a sample, so at a crime spot, if a sample very little amount is present, in that time we use a PCR technique. So what is the importance of PCR technique? It is useful for the multiplication of little amount of DNA. You can make more copies of DNA by using this technique. So it is useful for DNA fingerprinting techniques. Next, zinc finger analysis. Zinc finger analysis will use to recognize the protein and the DNA relationship. So especially during the transcription process. During the transcription process. You know transcription process. So during the transcription process, some of the proteins are bound with DNA at a promoter region and terminator region. So one of the protein name is called sigma factor. Sigma factor. So another factor name is called rho factor. Rho factor. So here zinc finger analysis is used to to recognize the proteins during the transcription process. This technique will not be used in the DNA fingerprinting process. So it is not required in DNA fingerprinting. Zinc finger analysis is not required. So answer is zinc finger analysis. If you see that the fourth one, restriction enzymes. Restriction enzymes are useful for to cut the DNA into small pieces, large DNA into small pieces to separate easily by using gel electrophoresis. So we will use this restriction enzymes. We'll use DNA hybridization. We'll use polymerase chain reaction. Then restriction enzymes in DNA fingerprinting technique. But zinc finger analysis will not use. So answer is zinc finger analysis. Zinc finger analysis is useful for to identify the proteins that bind with the DNA. So especially example is sigma factor and rho factor. So these are the proteins. To recognize these proteins, we use a special type of method. That method name is called zinc finger analysis. Next, you can see the next question in 2016. In 2016, another question. Which one of the following? Which one of the following? Which one of the following is the starter codon? Is the starter codon? So which codon acts as a starter codon? If you observe that the options A, U, A, G, next B, A, U, G, next C, U, G, A, next D, U, A, A. So these are the codons. In that codons, which one act as a starting codon? So in that AUG act as a starting codon. Remaining three UAG, UGA, and UAA. These are act as stopping codons. It is initiator codon or starting codon, initiator. So remaining three are stopping codons. So proceed to Genticode dictionary, you can get answers. So UAG, UGA, UAA, three are called stop codons. AUG considered as an initiator codon. So answer is AUG. Which of the following is the starter codon? AUG. Proceed to another one question. In 2016. Which of the following is required as which of the following is required as inducers for the expression of lactoferrin operon. For the expression of lactoferrin. So you can see the options. A, lactose and galactose. Lactose and galactose. Next, B, glucose. Next, C, galactose. Next, D, lactose. So given options like, so in that 4, which one act as an inducer? So here, if you observe this 4, first lactose. Here lactose act as inducer, but not galactose. So it is wrong. Then glucose, it is not act as inducer. Galactose also not act as inducer. Lactose only acts as inducer in case of lack of blood cancer. So answer is only lactose. Lactose only is act as inducer or starter. So remaining are non-inducers. So these are the questions answered in 2016. So proceed that 2017 questions. So how they ask that. Need 2017. How they ask this. The final proof for DNA as a genetic material. First question. The final proof. The final proof for DNA as the genetic material. DNA as the genetic material came from the experiments of the given options A. Huxley and Chase. Yes. B. Avery, McLeod and McCarthy. Avery, McLeod and McCarthy. Scientist names. Yes. C. Hargobind Puranas. Hargobind Puranas. Next, D. Griffith. So who gave final proof for DNA is a genetic material. So after that I test about so to prove that DNA is a genetic material, so one of the two members they conducted experiments by using bacteriophage. It is a final proof for DNA is a genetic material. So that experiment name is called Huxley and Chase experiment. So they conducted, so this both members they conducted experiments on bacteriophage and they proved DNA only genetic material, not proteins. The next answer is Huxley and Chase experiment. Next, second question to observe. If there are nine 999 genes. 999 not genes, bases. In an RNA that codes for a protein with 333 amino acids. 333 amino acids. And the base at the position 901 is deleted such that length of RNA becomes 998. How many codons will be altered? How many How many codons? How many codons will be altered? Altered. So they given question like that. So this concept based upon the deletion mutations and the insertion mutations. Say a question given based upon the deletion mutations. So if after that single base deleted mutations. So this is mRNA. So in this mRNA, the total number of bases starting, how many bases find? 999. 999 bases are found. In that 999 bases, one is removed. One base is removed. So remain 998 found. So actually 999 they are useful for to code the 333 amino acids. So if occurs mutation at 901, so that mutation is a deleted mutation. Means one base is removed. It is called a deleted mutation. Now in mRNA 998 primes. So how many codons will be altered? So how many codons will change? So where deletion occurs from the point onwards, alteration changes occurs in codons. Alterations occurs in codons. So when if you remove one or two bases from the mRNA or gene, so remaining sequence will alter from that point onwards. If you remove three bases or if you add three bases, if you remove or if you delete three bases or if you add three bases, if you add three bases at a particular point, there is no alteration from that point onwards. Important for competitive examination. It asks based upon the point mutation or frame shift mutations. So when alteration occurs here, so when alteration occurs, if you remove one or two bases, here alteration occurs in base sequence. If you remove three, there is no alteration. If you add three, there is no alteration from that point onwards. So this concept is very, very important. So this concept came from a frame shift mutation, frame shift deletion mutation, so frame shift insertional mutation concept. So here the given options A 11, next B 33, next C 333, next D 1. So how many codons will alter from that point onwards? So here 900, not one. If alteration occurs from that point onwards, actually 33 codons are found. So this 33 codons are altered or changed. So answer is 33. So how many codons are changed or altered? So answer is 33 codons. So this concept is based upon the deletion mutations. Important. Next, which of the following RNAs? Which of the following RNAs are more abundant in animal cells? So first is the options A tRNA, next B mRNA, next C miRNA, next D rRNA. So which type of RNA is more abundant in case of animal cell? So if you see that RNAs are three types. So another type of RNAs also are there, but mainly three types: mRNA, then tRNA, and rRNA. So these are the three types of RNAs. In the three types of RNAs, rRNA is 70 to 80%. 70 to 80%. tRNA, so this percentage is 10 to 15%. So mRNA just 5%. Important percentage of RNAs. So most abundant RNA is ribosomal RNA in the form of ribosomes. So in ribosomes, more amount of rRNA is present. So answer is D. So most abundant RNA is rRNA. Next, let us see the next question. Fourth question. The association of the association of histone protein H1 type. The association of histone protein with a nucleosome. Indicates if you see the options, a DNA replication is occurring. DNA replication is occurring. Next, B. The DNA is condensed. The DNA is condensed into chromatin fibers. Next, the DNA double helix is exposed. The DNA helix is exposed. Then the transcription is occurring. The transcription is occurring. So these are the options. So association of histone protein H1 type with nucleosome. So we can consider it is a condensation of DNA condensation into chromatin fibers. So answer is B. So these are the questions asked in 2017 paper. So next we will see the 2018 paper. How they ask right in 2008. So 2018 see the questions. So given sequence here. So see the sequence AGG. Next TAT. AGG TAT. Next CGC. AT. So given the sequence like is a sequence from the coding stand. From the coding stand of a gene. So gene nothing but DNA. Next, what will be the corresponding sequence? What will be the corresponding sequence? What will be the corresponding sequence of the transcribed mRNA? The given question like that, they mentioned DNA sequence, one stranded DNA sequence. So find out that mRNA sequence, transcript mRNA sequence. If you see the option A, G, G, next U, A, U, next U, G, C, A, U, next B option, second option U, C, C, A, U, A, next G, C, G, U, A, next C option A, C, C, next A, U, G, A, U, G, next U, A, U, A, C, C, U, A, U, next G, C, G, next A, U, next last option D option U, G, G, T, U, T, C, G, C, A, T. So given options like, if you observe that first DNA or DNA receive of sequence frame, you can see that template strand sequence A, G, G, next T, A, T, next C, G, C, next A, T. Like this sequence is framed on template strand or genes. You can call this is a gene sequence. If you see the mRNA sequence, so it starts with 5 prime. If after that mRNA sequence, where A is primed, opposite U will come according to base pairing rule. Then G if you prime at C, G prime at C, U, C, C. Next T is there, A will come. A is there means U. Like so, C opposite G, G opposite C, C opposite G. Then we get U, A. So this is a sequence primed on mRNA, transcribed mRNA. So this sequence match with which one? U, C, C, A, U, A, G, C, C, U, A. So B option is matched. So answer is B. Next, if you see the next question. Second question in 2018. All of the following. Second question. All of the following. All of the following are part of an operon except. Different options. A, an operator, next B, a promoter, next C, an enhancer, next D, structural genes. If you see that lag operon, in lag operon, which type of genes are primed? If you see the lag operon, you can find out the promoter gene, regulator gene, again promoter, operator, then remaining lag A. So these are called structural genes. So in this lag operon, there is no enhancer. Operator is there. Then promoter is there. Structural genes also present. Z, Y, A. These are called structural genes. So in operons, there is no enhancer. Structural genes. So answer is an enhancer. All of the following are the part of operon except an enhancer. Remaining three are present in lag operons. Then you see the last question in 2018. How they asked the questions here. The experimental proof. Third question. The experimental proof The experimental proof for semi-conservative replication. Semi-conservative replication. Semi-conservative replication of DNA. DNA was first shown in A. First shown in A. The given options: A fungus, next B virus, next C plant, then D bacteria. So where conducted this experiment first time? Semi-conservative replication conducted by Messelson and Strauss. They conducted experiment first on Escherichia coli bacteria. Escherichia coli bacteria. So first semi-conservative replication conducted on Escherichia coli bacteria. So answer is bacteria. So later they conducted experiments on plant. Vicia faba. Vicia faba is a plant. Faba means plant. So first they conducted in bacteria. Later they conducted in plants. So answer is bacteria. So these are the questions asked in 2018 paper. So next class discuss about remaining bits in 2019 and 2020. Thank you. Thank you.